the delay with the video. I had a very important like family crisis that needed to be taken care of over this past weekend, and it was very emotionally taxing, so I couldn't do the video until everything was resolved and the dust settled. And so I apologize for the delay in getting this video out to you guys. Okay, um, so we're going to go into your reading, and I'm using the same format. This is pretty much, the 12th house natal astrological wheel, and each card is pulled out, then represents a different part of your, a different part of sector of your life that we're going to look at. And doing this spread, my main goal is basically to see areas that might be sore spots for you guys, and if it comes up for this month, you might want to take care of it so that it doesn't, aggravate and become like for worsen down the line as we progress through 2017. So that's my intention for doing this spread, and I'm going to use this spread. I know some people don't like it and they like the previous spread, but I feel like, I like to change things up every year. And I feel this has been very helpful so far, and it helps me narrow down the energy as well. And energetically, it is a little bit easier for me to use this spread than the other spread, okay? So I'm just going to implement this for the rest of the year with. And I feel like for some of you, this is the Five of Swords, which indicates some aftermath of a battle, okay? So I feel like there might have been a very conflictual situation that it denotes to me that you took a really difficult path in order to achieve an outcome. So this is kind of like that bittersweet, victory, where you didn't compromise your values, you didn't compromise your beliefs, you didn't sell yourself out in order to achieve an easier victory. I feel like a lot of you stuck by your guns, you kept your own, you held on to your values, and you held on to it. This is a good victory. It's a swift victory, and no one like compromised or sold themselves out in order to get the easy way out. So it's a bittersweet card, but I feel that a lot of you guys, and this is why I really, really love Virgo and people in general, you make hard decisions, and a lot of the times, like, when you believe in something, you will, fight for it, and you don't really shy away from conflict. And you're the type that, even though the hard choice needs to be made, you do the right thing because it's the right thing. And so I feel like oftentimes the right decisions comes about, people might not agree with you. And so I feel that, even though knowing that people might not agree with you, knowing that people won't be in your lives after you make this decision, you still do it because it's the right thing. So I feel like there was a major barriers. It doesn't feel that way because I feel like it's almost bittersweet. But deep down internally, you did the right thing, and you did the best to your capabilities. You didn't sell yourself out. You didn't. You stuck true to your values, and that's really important. Okay, and you're coming away from it, and you're moving into a much smoother environment. Okay. What's coming through in terms of your second house, it deals with values and it deals with money. So let me talk about your value system first. This is a card about abundance. This is a card about, restoration, renewal in faith, renewal in trust in ourselves, and trusting in our intuition. So this is a card that indicates a lot of spiritual energy coming through to replenish you after this conflict, after this showdown. And I feel like you held your ground. You didn't compromise. And I feel like you're starting to realize how strong you are. So coming in for this month, it's a kind of like telling you, it's confirmation that you're on the right track. It's also telling you that you're going to achieve a lot of emotional abundance for this month. In terms of your money system, what we have here is a lot of abundance as well, things overflowing. And I feel like a lot of you are coming into like having disposable income. And I feel like for Virgo and people in general, money is nice, money is great, but I feel like you see it, you're starting to see it as a means to an end. So I feel like if you have been very frugal in the past, you are giving yourself a lot more leeway. So this means, investing in your diet, investing in I almost want to say like emotional spending in order to make yourself feel good. But you're doing it within good reason. You're not like squandering your wealth or your hard-earned money. You're buying things for yourself that you feel you deserve, okay? I see a lot of people decorating the house, like buying new furniture, buying new things like artwork and stuff that they're putting on walls. So a lot of redecorating and a lot of like buying supplies or buying things that are not necessary but that might be pretty, that you might have an emotional bond with, even a pet. I'm sensing for many of you. So this is a very good card overall in your second house, okay? The third house deals with communication and it deals with siblings. The way that you communicate with other people for this month is going to be a little bit more detached, but it's still done in a very rational manner. I feel like this is like the no BS type of a card. This is somebody who's kind of they can interact with somebody for 5 minutes and they can see right through the other person. So I feel like your energy is very sharp, it's very clear, it's very directed. So when you communicate with people, their intentions are going to become transparent to you. You're going to know what people mean. You're going to know what people intend. You're going to understand people's motives. And I feel like there's very strong insight and psychic energies that allows you to do this. So this is a really good month overall for contract negotiations, negotiating your salary, negotiating pay raises, and doing something that requires a lot of concentration, a lot of objectivity. This is a really good month for you to get like, tedious, um, tedious, tedious tasks done, and for you to do a lot of research, for you to basically your mind is very sharp where things are not going to slip you by, okay? So I do feel that the energy here is greatly conducive for getting things done, things that you have procrastinated on, like things that you have put off because of creative blocks or writer's block, or because you were not in a good position to concentrate. I feel like your mental capacity is going to start to clear up, and you're going to be on top of your A game when it comes to thinking, analyzing, dissecting information, disseminating information, and communicating with other in a way that is very directed. I feel like you're going to be a little bit more emotionally detached, and you're going to be a little bit more analytical of other people and their intentions. So this is great. In terms of your siblings, we have an air sign here. So this is an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And this is somebody that is, I almost feel like they're emotionally underdeveloped, okay? So they're really smart, they're very logical, and they're very objective. But I feel like you might have somebody like this in, as a sibling that is coming to you for help, and they're trying to understand something, and they're not able to understand it on an emotional front. So I'm feeling they're having trouble accessing that emotional aspect of themselves. And so I feel like it's gonna require help from your end in order for them to provide that other piece of the puzzle. And I feel almost as if, even though you're talking about emotional things, the way that you both communicate is it's very logical, it's very rational. But I feel that you're going to be able to I want to say like accommodate the other person by changing your communication style in order to fit them, in order to provide a common a common narrative so that they understand where you're coming from. So there's going to be a lot of heavy communication with family members and especially siblings. And I do sense there's a lot of bouncing off ideas off of each other. There's a lot of I also feel like just intellectual exchange with another person that will provide opportunities for healing, okay, for healing within the family unit, for healing within your communication. So your mind is really sharp this month, Virgo. You're the one that people are going to come to for advice, for training, for technical information, as well as, expertise in your field. Okay, so just be prepared for that. People will be coming to you, but I feel like you're gonna, you need to teach them what they need to know. Don't do the work for them. Okay, don't get yourself into that cycle. Teach them what they need, give them the technical information so that they can figure things out on their own. You can even lead them there, just don't do the work for them. So practice a little bit of a detach from other people a little bit so that you can protect your energy and that you don't take on other people's burdens. Okay? The fourth house deals with family and it deals with the mother as well. But I'm going to talk about your family home because I feel like you're coming into this month very, very independent. Okay, independent of your childhood upbringing. You're just you're coming into your own and you're making decisions for yourself. So we have here the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is trying to figure out, amongst the options, what do I do now? Where should I live? What do I want to invest in long term? Do I want another property? Do I want to live in an apartment? Do I want to live in a house? Am I happy with where I am right now? I did mention that I feel a lot of you are going to be redecorating, reorganizing your space, decluttering your space, figuring out what you need to let go of, what you need to sell, or having a garage sale, or even like, is it worth even doing the garage sale? Should I just donate everything? Donation is going to be really good for you this month. Okay, so try to declutter your environment and weed out the things that you don't need anymore. If you haven't touched them in over like 6 months, you probably don't need them. So just try to weed out your environment, make donations, because that's always good for other people that that might need whatever it is that you don't need. So whatever you want to dispose of, try to arrange for some donations, pick up. Okay, this is also a situation where I feel like you are thinking long term as to how long you're going to stay in your present environment and what type of a home you're hoping to create for yourself. So I feel a lot of you are giving some serious thoughts. There are many directions that you can go, but I feel like you're trying to figure out logically where you are and how the home life is going to match up with where you are professionally. So I do feel long-term planning coming through for many of you. Okay, so which is always a good thing. I'm getting an energy for in terms of like mother figures and in terms of the childhood home that you grew up in. I feel almost like a mother, they're saying a mother that was very, very distracted. Okay, so she might have had a lot of things that she needed to take care of. She might have also had a lot of responsibilities and also emotional worries, emotional issues. I feel like it's somebody that really suppressed their feelings and didn't have an outlet. They didn't have like a person to vent to. They didn't have a sounding board and they didn't have an outlet. So I feel like they kept everything inside and they're having trouble figuring fact from fiction, like, filtering out fact from fiction. A lot of the times, I feel like this card also denotes dementia, memory loss. So you're dealing with somebody in your home environment that might be going through these changes, cognitive like impairments. I feel like memory loss, not being able to recall information. And I feel like you might be living with this person. This person might be your mother, or this person is in your environment somehow. They're very distracted, okay? The next card here is your fifth house, and the fifth house deals with creativity, it deals with children, and it also deals with how you entertain yourself. I'm sorry. This is the fifth house. So we have here the Hierophant in the reverse position. And the Hierophant in the reverse position basically indicates a situation that is very unorthodox, untraditional, and it's kind of like outside the norm. So I feel like for some of you who are going through life and you have a group of friends that you usually hang out with, basically what it means is that they might be quite eccentric, they might be quite quirky, and they might be like just very different from you. In terms of how you entertain yourself, this is a card about the occult. When it shows up in the upright position, this is a card about order and religion, organized religion. I'm seeing a lot of you are interested in, or, looking into the occult, like mysticism, metaphysical, like teachings as well. So astrology, numerology, palmistry, even tarot cards I'm sensing, and even like alternative methods of doing things like spirituality. I feel like this is something that is heavily in your environment, and for some reason I feel some of you might not be able to talk openly with the people that are in your environment. And even your friends, they might not have the same belief system as you. So you're dealing, first of all, with people that are very, very different from you. And then on top of that, you have this innate fascination with metaphysical, teachings, the occult. And I feel that you need to find an outlet for it, okay? This is something that, if this is something that fascinates you, then definitely find ways to develop it. Develop your intuition, develop your psychic abilities, develop your dream state. Practicing something related to the occult, I feel would be really beneficial for you for this month. We have some really strong psychic energies coming through. I'm seeing it in this card. I feel like you might have been very busy in the past. So this is a month in which things stabilize just a little bit. And I feel like there's a lot of strong cards here that signify, alternative teachings. That's going to be very good for you, okay? What I'm also getting as well is I just feel almost like some people are very good friends with their boss. Like they're saying like an authority figure that is turning out to be a very good friend that you might hang out with on a regular basis, or that you might, spend more time with. So they're saying an authority figure. So you might be in a very good, you might have very good like rapport with your superiors. And I feel that you're being included into that circle, but it's not done in a way where there's still that power struggle or power dynamics. I feel like they're meeting you where you are. Like they're meeting you where you are. There isn't that employer-employee type of constraint. So you're going to be able to express yourself openly, okay? Sixth house deals with your work, your health, and your daily routine. Let's talk about your daily routine. So I feel overall, Virgo people like to keep lists. Like you have a checklist. You finish something, you check it off, and you move on to the next thing. It helps you keep on track, and it also helps you feel productive. And this is something that I feel a lot of Virgo and people have in their life. Like they just, that's what they do in order to get things done. And when it shows up in the reverse, this is the checklist. When it shows up in the reverse position, it's basically, in terms of your daily routine, I almost feel as if you're not going to be inundated with a lot of responsibilities. So the checklist idea, I feel like it's no longer relevant. So I feel like there's going to be changes to your daily routine, but it's not imposed from the external environment. It's coming from within. It's almost like you want to be a little bit more carefree. You want to be a little bit more unconventional, and you want to, like, just I feel like you have more free time to do whatever it is that you want. So you're not going to hold yourself, um, make yourself abide by strict rules, strict schedule, or like, go through the checklist when it comes to your daily routine. So there's a lot more leeway. There's a lot more time. So you're not under the time crunch anymore coming through for February. When it comes to your health, be very, very careful. I do see a lot more physical activities that needs to take place, and I feel that you're going to find time to take care of that this month. So you're very good generally about, personal hygiene as well as personal health. Okay, so like exercising, taking care of yourself. I feel like these are things that you're just naturally very good at, and with the little bit of, I feel like, having a lot more free time is going to allow you to take care of this sector of your life. Now, in terms of the work situation, I feel like you're perpetually making progress, but when it shows up in the reverse, I feel like some of you are re-examining your career path and you're trying to figure out if the work that you're at is still meaningful further down the line in terms of achieving your career. So I feel like you're doing some major reassessment as to, whether or not the career track is still something that you want, or whether or not this job is still going to be required for you to achieve that career that you're looking for. Okay, so I feel like some major changes coming through, but they're all very positive here. um, Moving on to the seventh house. The seventh house deals with love partnerships as well as business partnerships. So we have here the Seven of Wands. And we have sevens, two sevens here, as well as the Hermit card. So I feel like this is a really important month for you guys to really re-examine your relationships. And let me talk about business partnerships first. Business partnerships, I do sense if you're in a business partnership, there is going to be like a conflict of interest, okay? It's almost like not agreeing on the same things, not feeling as if contributions from both parties is fair. And if you're dealing with a partner, this indicates to me a partner that is, um, they're very stubborn. And I feel like, they might be slow to act, they might be prone to procrastination, and they might leave things to the very last minute. And I feel there's going to be a little bit of a butting heads with your significant other or your partner when it comes to getting things done. So I feel on the one hand, you are very, very systematic. You do things in a very timely manner, in a very predictable manner. The person that you're dealing with, and of course, opposites attract, right? The person that you're dealing with, they have a tendency to leave things to the very last minute. You might be living with them and you might find out that they're very forgetful, or they might be a little bit messy even. So I feel like there's a conflict of interest here coming through in your relationship sector. And I do sense that, you're not seeing eye to eye on something, and you're defending your values, you're defending the things that you believe is productive, and I feel that they have their own way of doing things. So there's kind of like a little bit of butting heads. It's not severe. It's not severe, but there's still some butting heads. And likewise, in your professional relationships as well, I do feel that you're going to have some creative differences with another person, okay? Creative differences as to how we decorate the business environment, the office, how we how we transport items. So if you're in the import-export business, which agency do we use to transport items? How far are we willing to shift? Who keeps track of the inventory? Who keeps track of all the items that are coming out? I do see some creative differences. And I'm also feeling that I feel like the same might apply to a romantic partner. I feel like they're a little bit scattered. I feel like there might be a lot of responsibilities on the work front imposed upon them. And so they might not be emotionally available, or they might not be physically available for you to depend on as you would the other months, okay? So just keep that in mind. It's just like very minor. I don't feel like it's detrimental, okay? The eighth house deals with joint finances. It deals with, I'm also getting that message of rebirth, okay? Rebirth. So this is a very, the eighth house deals with a psychic, like it's a psychic house. And with the Four of Cups, with the Cups energy landing in a psychic house, what it basically means is that I feel like there are a lot of opportunities that are coming your way that are kind of like presented to you. And I feel a lot of you are very hesitant about taking up new opportunities. And the reason that I feel that you're very hesitant about it is because I'm sensing that, well, you're an earth sign, right? And when you do something, you want to see tangible evidence of it working in the real world. So you are somebody who's very results driven, who's very results oriented. And I feel like some of these opportunities that are coming to you, I'm almost sensing as if you're afraid that they're not really going to pan out. So if other people are asking you, should we do this? Should we do that? I feel like you know if you did it, it's going to come to fruition. But you're not really sure whether or not they are able to themselves do it. So they're coming to you with all these propositions, with all of these opportunities. And I feel like you're very, very selective because you don't want to inundate. You're taking a little bit of a pull back your energy approach when dealing with other people and the things that they're coming to you with, mainly because, in the past, you might have taken on a lot of responsibilities and you're no longer welcoming it. Or even right now, you feel like automatically the opportunities are not practical. Like it's almost as if I feel like the business plan is not well thought out. It's not well written. There's like holes in the business proposal. So I feel like you're being very, very cautious, and they're telling you to be very cautious, to really sit with it and wait for the right time before you you take on these responsibilities or these opportunities. Okay, so really trust your intuition this month, Virgos, because I feel like you're doubting yourself. The first 15 days of the month, I feel things are going really well. But then the last 15 days of the month, you're starting to doubt yourself. And so it's really important when you start doubting yourself. You're just like, should I have done this? Should I have done that? Just know you're on the right track. You did something very honorable in the past. And what you did is basically being confirmed so that you can move forward the last 15 days of the month knowing that you did the right thing. Okay, so I feel like there's something like, is this the best way to do it? Is this the best outcome? And I feel like you're kind of doubting, like, I'm not really sure, but it is the best outcome. It is the best way. Okay, so sit with it. Don't do anything. Don't doubt yourself. All right, really trust your intuition for this month. I'm also sensing in terms of like joint finances. We have here the Four of Cups, which basically means people wanting to partner up, people wanting to like engage in business ventures with you. And so be careful, okay? Be very, very careful because I feel like what you are doing right now is really good. And you're looking for new opportunities because you might be bored on the work front. But these new opportunities are not all like what they seem. So sit with it, sleep on it, let it marinate, and then decide. All right. Um, Ninth house is it deals with travel and it deals with higher education. let me talk about travel, because this is the person that loves to travel. When it shows up in the reverse position, I feel like you're thinking about travel, you're planning some type of travel, but for whatever reason, responsibilities or even like constraints with other people is coming. It's almost like you're waiting on another person to make a decision before you can travel. So I feel like there's a thirst for adventure, a thirst for new energy, a thirst for interacting with, going to a foreign land, learning a foreign language. So I feel like a lot of you are in a position right now where you want to expand your consciousness, you want to expand your knowledge, you want to expand yourself like geographically as well. So there's an overwhelming need to want to get away, to want to travel, to want to do something new. For some of you who are thinking about school, for example, I feel like some of you want to take like a creative course, something very different, something possibly non-traditional, even a language course. I'm seeing translations, like translators. I'm feeling people who might want to take like a business course, even to learn how to do. I am seeing like graphic design, even a business. I'm also sensing, the website building, like HTML, like website building, website design, as well as learning a foreign language. So these things are coming through very strongly. And I do sense some of you, there are responsibilities within your home environment. You might be a mother with a lot of responsibilities, so you're thinking about returning to school or even traveling, but there's going to be a little bit of blockage coming through for this month, okay? What I'm also feeling as well is I'm seeing like some of you might be in an environment where you're dealing with people of from different cultures. So it might be in a work front, it might be in the friendship front, and you're starting to realize that, hey, the cultural divide is a little bit great, like it's a little bit big. So I need to learn more so that I can approach that person from their perspective and provide a common narrative so you both can negotiate and you both can agree, or you both can, like, see eye to eye. So I feel like you're very open-minded for this month. Very, very open-minded, willing to see other people's point of view, very objective as well. So the 10th house deals with your career. We do have here the Hermit in the reverse position. So this is what I'm sensing. The Hermit card is a very, very spiritual card, and it shows up in the reverse. It's also the card of Virgo. When it shows up in the reverse position, it's basically telling me that I feel like many of you, and this is a standard earth sign thing. It's not good or bad, it's just something that I've noticed, and I feel it coming through in this spread. It's almost as if, at a very, very young age, you're quite responsible. And I feel like when it came to your career path, when it came to your work, you took a safe route. You took a route that will allow you to make money quite quickly, that will allow you to get promotions, that will allow you to climb that corporate ladder, that will allow you to have a lot of stability at a very young age. And the work, you might feel like it's no longer fulfilling. And so your soul is yearning for something more, something a little bit more different from what you've been doing your whole life. Something that might even be like spiritually aligned. So that means a healing profession, dealing with the occult, for example. So I feel like there is this nagging, there's this calling, but I feel like you have been avoiding it, for the past months, 4 months, for the past 4 years. You might have, you know that it's nagging at you, like it's tugging at you, but you might have been avoiding it for whatever reason. And so they're telling you that, in the process of climbing that career ladder, I do sense that you need to get back to your roots, and you need to also understand that you're meant to be of service to humanity, okay? And I feel as well, some of you are very suitable for the teaching profession. Some of you are also very, very suitable for the managerial, supervisory profession. And so, in terms of a career track, you might not want these things. You want to work behind the scenes. You don't want to be in the spotlight. But they're urging you to come out from behind the scenes and come into the spotlight so that other people, so you can share your skills, your experience, and your gifts with the world. I feel like you have a lot of gifts, and your sharp mind and your intellect is one major thing that will allow you to be a very good supervisor, to show people the right way and the more efficient way to do something. So you have some important gifts that you need to share with the world. But I feel like you don't want to take center stage. You don't want to take credit. You want to hide behind, like, you want to work behind the scenes and not have to deal with people. And so you want to crunch numbers. You want to just, be in your cubicle and be left alone. So there's some major reassessment here when it comes to work and when it comes to your career. And it's not bad, you get to do whatever you want, but I feel almost as if there's a calling here. You have a lot of talents, Virgo. There's a calling here that you might not have been heeding, okay? And opportunities that come to us when we don't take them up, they might not come around the second time. So just something to think about. Um, let's talk about the father because I'm getting a message coming through. I almost feel like I feel like many of you grow up in an environment where things were very, very rational. Things were very logical. Everything was very black or white. There's a right way and there's a wrong way to do things. And you rarely explore these gray areas. You just know that this is wrong, this is right, and the nuances in between those gray areas. I feel like your father was somebody that lived in a gray area, and what I mean by that is he it seems almost as if he I want to say like he might be somebody who spins the situation to fit the circumstance. So he might have made a lot of allowances for other people. Even though they did something wrong, he made a lot of allowances for them. And he was also somebody that was very comfortable with the gray area. So he might not have made decisions. He might have been he might have been quite indecisive. He might have been quite like straddling like between decisions and never really making a decisions. And they're saying like he might have been somebody that was perpetually faced a lot of setback is what I'm saying, what I'm seeing, because he might have lacked that sense of objectivity. So that's what I'm sensing here. And I feel like this is a person, so your father might be somebody that is that might not have the skills to navigate, the world the way that you do. So you have a lot of gifts, and I feel like your gifts are here to help other people see the path that is laid out ahead of them. Because I feel like in the process of being so muddled, in the process of trying to understand things, a lot of people get lost. And so you're supposed to be the guiding light, show the way. You're supposed to like allow other people to find their truth. And you're supposed to help them find their truths. You're also supposed to like help them come out of a very difficult environment so that they can move on to a safer place. So I feel like that's the capacity you're supposed to be working at. And in terms of a career track, if you can somehow facilitate movement, facilitate a sense of direction for other people, the career track that will make you really happy. I do see guidance counselors. I do see like emotional, you know, the regular therapist counselors as well. I also feel teachers. I also feel managers. I also feel like even like nutritionists, surgeons as well with this card. So those are really good career fields to get into for those of you who are a little bit kind of like trying to figure out, you know, what's good for you, like what's the best track for you, okay? You have a lot of skills here, and your objectivity is something that is much needed in the world, okay? Um, Let me talk about the 11th house, and the 11th house is friends and group associations. So with the Sun card in the reverse position, this is a situation where we feel almost as if our friends, and it's almost like I feel that, you know, you have friends that are quite accomplished. They might be very, very financially accomplished. They might also be in the top of their profession. But I feel like there is a discrepancy between, you know, whether or not you're able to connect with them on a emotional level. So when you get together, I feel like a lot of your friends or your coworkers too, when you get together, you talk about work and you don't really talk about anything else. So be careful about that. Try to, you know, make the conversation a little bit more diverse. And I feel like many of you, you naturally gravitate towards people that work really hard. So the ones that work really hard in your work environment, you will hang out with them and you will form friendships with them. And there's nothing wrong with that. But they're telling you to expand a little bit, to expand outside of your social circle, your normal social circle, in order to get people that are more like-minded. They might not be in your same industry, but they're going to be a little bit more understanding, and there's going to be more like commonalities between you and them if you decide to branch out of your social circle or outside of your seeking friends outside of your professional circle. Okay. um we have here the 12th house, and I'm actually going to need to pull a card out for this. The 12th house indicates secrets, things in your environment that you're not aware of. Okay. And let me just see what's coming through. Give me just 1 second. So I usually look at the 12th house and the 8th house together, but I'm not getting a message here. So let me just see. So we have here the 8 of Wands. Okay. So what's coming through? What's coming through here is this is a card that indicates stoppage in communication, as well as some type of, if this indicates like travel, there's going to be some delays with the travel arrangement, okay? This is going to be coming through for those of you who are dealing with this month. So there's going to have to be like a revision to travel. You're not going to be able to do it. It could be, you know, your mother might not be able to do it, or she might need you to do something. And then for others, I feel like there might be work projects interfering with the travel. On top of that, there is this person in your life, and they're mentioning something about this is a foreigner to you. There is somebody in your life, and I feel like they're quite exciting, quite fascinating to be around. Possibly this sign, so this is a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. And I do sense there's going to be a delay in travel, or there's going to be a delay in communication associated with them. It's almost as if you're waiting for communication, I feel like they're a little bit distracted right now, and you might not be hearing from them for this month. On the other hand, for those of you who are waiting and you're not getting the communication from them, you're deciding whether or not to reach out. And I would say, like, there's no harm in reaching out, okay? So that's what I'm sensing for you guys. And let me talk about your love and relationship reading. So I have pulled out here the 7th house card, which basically represents your relationship sector. And I'm going to start channeling messages when I shuffle the cards out, okay? love, romance, relationship for Virgos. I'm almost feeling like if you are single and if you're like out there dating, if you're single and you're out there dating, I feel like there's a little bit of disappointment when it comes to the object of your affection. Okay? It seems almost as if you're dealing with somebody that has a lot of suitors and they wait and wait and wait. And you know, Valentine's Day is for those who are celebrating as well, but it is going to be Valentine's Day in the States, the 14th of this month. And there's a lot of social pressure as to, you know, what are we doing for Valentine's Day? Who do we want to spend that day with? And I feel for some of you who are single, you might be dealing with someone who has a lot of options. And so you're trying to finalize plans with them because I feel like you like this person. You want to finalize plans with them. But they have a lot of suitors and I feel like they're waiting on their suitors, okay? So just something to keep in mind about because I feel like some disappointment coming through for those who are dating. Okay. Okay, so let me talk about the coupled people. Couples, things are going to be really good for you guys, okay? Very, very good. But I feel like one person is very busy with work. One person's very busy with work, taking care of their work responsibilities. I feel almost like you might be taking on additional responsibilities, or the other person. I feel for many of you, it's your partner that's taking on a lot of responsibilities, okay? And so what I have here for those who are coupled up, just the bottom line is this. We have here the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. This is mutual reception, reciprocity. So I feel like no matter what, even when the other person is busy, they are going to make time for you. But I feel almost as if you might not go out. I feel like you might just entertain each other in the environment, in your home environment. And I feel like you're going to be quite happy that there's something very sweet with this energy. It's almost like it feels almost as if I'm sensing two people that might not even make a lot of money, but they're able to make gifts for each other, or even if they have all the money in the world, they like the simple things. You know, they like to make presents or they like to make gifts for one another. So they like to cook for one another. They also like to take care of one another in a very like non-material way. So this is a really sweet, it's a very cute energy. I feel like you might be involved with a water sign. So this is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You yourself might have, you know, water in your chart. So it basically indicates like you're going to be entertaining, you know, your spouse in the home environment. You're going to cook for each other. You're going to do a lot of cute stuff together, even arts and crafts. or you're going to be making something for each other. I see like two people possibly baking and see who is better, and then see who wins the competition. So it's a really sweet energy. So couples, you are going to have a really amazing, I feel like, loving time for the month of February. Okay, singles, um, who are, still in the process of narrowing down who they want to be with. I feel like there is a person that you are thinking about. It shows up here as a water sign. So it's in the crowning energy. And the crowning energy is somebody that you're thinking about. And what I feel is this. So this is a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This is somebody that is new in the picture. And I feel like you're waiting on them to make a love gesture for you. And I feel like you're you really like this person. And I also feel as if you're getting swept off your feet. I feel like they're very, generally, they're very sweet, very kind, a little bit flirtatious, but not in a malicious or in a sleazy way. They're easy to talk to, and they're just, very nice to be around, and they're very considerate. And so that's a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I feel like you really like this person. And I almost feel like you're keeping your calendar free in case this person wants to hang out. So it feels like that to me. It's like you're scrapping everything from your calendar, and whatever day they want to hang out, all systems go. So I feel like you're waiting on this person to make a gesture for you. And what's coming through, we have here the Star in the reverse and the Queen of Cups in the reverse. And what this means is that if you're thinking about this person, I feel like they have a few suitors, and I also feel like they have an ex that they might share children with. And I feel like it's going to create a little bit of the ex might want them to watch the children, for example. So they might not have that day free, or they might not be able to be too mobile whenever you want to hang out. So I do feel there's some interference with, it's not on purpose, but I feel like exes, children, obligations, and things like that coming through that interfere with your love life. Not so much from your side, but from the other person's side. It actually could also be from your side, where responsibilities with spouses or responsibilities with children from a previous engagement, that's also coming through. Okay, so there's something here about not being able to coordinate with another person because of the constraints, but I feel like you're dealing with somebody that has a lot of suitors as well. And I feel like they might be a little bit disorganized, and they might be forgetful, so they might not even remember certain things, keeping certain dates. And I feel like they're not doing it on purpose, but I do sense that there's going to be like a little bit of a time crunch or a little bit of a mishap, that where you feel like they might not have prioritized you. Okay, so I apologize for that message. So moving back into the past, for others of you, we have here the King of Coins as well as the Emperor in the reverse position. So I'm just going to say this. I feel like you or the person that you were involved with, if it's you, shown up here as an earth sign, if it's somebody that you're involved with, then it's basically a person that is an earth sign. And they're shown up as a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, a sun, moon, or a rising. And I feel like one person had control issues. So this is a past relationship. And I feel like there was somebody there wanting to dictate the terms of the relationship. Somebody might have been very territorial, might have been very controlling, might have been like my way or the highway. And I do sense that if that's the case, I feel like you're looking, you might be wanting to reconnect with them. They might be wanting to reconnect with you. And I feel like this relationship, two people are just a little bit too stubborn or too different. And so it's not going to come together in the manner that you'd hope, okay? And especially if you've been dealing with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, there's going to be communication from them. I do sense that. And you're going to question whether or not they are sincere, and you're going to question what their intentions are. Because in the foundation, we have here news messages with the Page of Wands. And these are like messages and communication that might not have been very clear, that might have been kind of, they, I'm seeing you getting like news communication, especially a text message from somebody, and it might have been misspelled. It might have also been like, it just didn't make sense. So I feel like you're going to be scratching your head wondering what happened. And I feel like the other person is just reaching out and they're trying to leave that channel of communication open between you and them, but they don't really know how to do it. So they might have just typed in gibberish in order to get a response from you, in order to get some type of a contact or some type of a follow-up, okay? So confusing communication coming through from the past, and it could be an earth sign or a water sign. And I feel like you might engage with them in conversation. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need to clarify things, do it. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I do sense something about communicating with a person from the past because they sent some confusing messages and you're not really sure what they want. I feel like they're trying to reach out to you and they're trying to show you that they still have feelings for you, that they're not over it. Or if you have children together with this person, you're going to be hearing from this person as if they're trying to be on their best behavior and they're saying like, oh, can you watch the kids? Can we change the days? Can we change the custody agreement? There's something like that coming through here. Coming up in your future position, we have here the Two of Coins, which is, you know, trying to decide between two things. It's also a situation where I feel for some of you who are dating, you're trying to, you're finding yourself really swept off your feet, and you're trying to find that emotional balance within so that you can either, so you can decide what to do with the other person. And we have as well the Four of Coins, which basically means that I feel like some expectations, especially for those who are dating, expectations are not, it's like the other person is not able to meet you halfway due to the constraints of their job, or they even have multiple options. And so I feel like you're left waiting for them, and they're not going to be communicating in a way that is clear, that will allow you to move on, that will allow you to, like, you know, set your schedule, meet somebody else. So I feel like that's what's happening here. It's a mixed bag, but either way, I feel like you're going to get a lot of clarity coming through as to where you stand with another person, okay? You're going to get clarity about that, all right? So Virgos, once again, I apologize for the delay, okay? I had a very serious family situation, and I just could not do the reading when everything was up in the air. So I'm very sorry for sending this out late for you guys. I wish you all the best for this month, okay? Have a wonderful Valentine's Day for those who are celebrating. If you'd like to book a reading with me, visit my website. The information is in the description box below. For the link to my donations as well, if you'd like to donate to my channel, I would greatly appreciate that. The link is also in the description box. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing, subscribing, and requesting a private reading. I appreciate you all. So take care. Bye-bye.